to Bluegrass Dreams to Seams. My name is Cheryl. I am ready to get this jacket made. It should be a fairly easy procedure. There's probably going to be some things that'll slow me down here and there. I do plan on taking a break for lunch, but anyway, we're going to work on this Barb Originals tee jacket pattern. I'm going to show you the pattern. Here it is. It's really, really a pretty pattern. Now, it calls for fleece, or she has wool written beside it. The wool that I chose to use is a coat weight wool, and I'm pretty sure I bought it at Textile Fabrics. So, yes, I know this green does not look cream, and it does not look like it is that faux cashmere knit that I've been raving about I'm going to cut out. The thing is that you only cut one collar piece, which means this edge gets sewn to the garment, actually in a pin-tuck seam, but then this edge and this and that is all raw. And that knit will eventually fray. But I'm not as worried about it with this wool. Now this wool does have stretch. Not much, but it does. This way. Not a whole lot, but it does. And it's really pretty on the other side. It's a kind of a, you know, but I'll use this side because it's got more to it. Same thing with the cuff. The cuff is 1. It says cut 2, so you're only 1 of these to each. Get me familiar with the fabric. That's all I'm doing. That's why I backed up and decided, let's get familiar with the pattern. That edge there pinned to the fold, I will cut that. That's the front. You see there's a pin tuck seam line here. It's not a seam line, but pin tuck line there, and there's pin tuck lines here for all 3 sizes. So same on the back, there's a pin tuck, pin tuck. So, and I've cut this, I'm going to cut it on the salvage. So I had enough of this green to cut this tee jacket, and I think it'll be just lovely, and I'll enjoy wearing it. It doesn't have to be lined. This is just a sample, me trying to work with this twin needle. You know, I have that twin needle stitching I have to do, and I did 2 rows. With my machine, a stitch length not adjusted. Twin needle was pretty easy to set up. I did have to watch video, but I think that I like this. As soon as you finish stitching, of course, these stitches here raise this up. It looks flat until you stop stitching. Once you do that, then you have this. Here is the first panel. This is the front, and you can see these lines, how they raise up. I did the short one first that goes across the waistline, and then I did my long one second. It doesn't really tell you which way to do it. I just thought it'd probably be better if the long one was over the short one, but you see where they intersect right there, so it's fine. So this is my first back panel. Center back, of course, is right here. You'll have this little piece here that gets folded back. I did cut this on the salvage, so I won't have to worry about finishing that. But I decided the pattern marks it to come off over into the shoulder, but you don't do that on the front, and I thought that was kind of weird, so I chose to go ahead and keep this the same distance, and hopefully they match up when I go to do shoulder seams, so that the line is continuous front and back. I am burning up in my sewing room. I have my door open. It's a warmer day today, so working with wool is not the best thing to be working with on a warmer day. And I thought I'd take a break here and just kind of catch up with a little bit of things. I looked to see if Barb Originals had any videos on this jacket, you know, like YouTube videos, and there's nothing. That pin tuck line goes right down, and then I picked up here and I went across the kick plate Then I laid a organza pressing cloth over this and pressed that down so it's now shaped the way it should be. Loving it. I just want to say a few things. I noticed that on one shoulder it's slightly off now. I tried to correct that, but on this one it's much better. So there's not a whole lot. This was way off before, but it is closer. I'm not going to try to fool with it much longer, or much more, because I'm afraid I'll damage. But anyway, what I noticed, and I did this the way she said, put the sleeve toward the feed dogs, but this one has slipped. So I'm going to take out part of this all the way down to here and restitch that, pulling that up, because it's barely anything there. That's not going to work. I really do love it. It's very pretty. I've got one button that I've put in so far. When you sew this collar on, you leave a little space open for the button. And so then when you finish with this pin tuck needle around the edge, you just leave that open and then straight stitch and join that together. It was really easy. This is a center back seam, and you finish that off with a pin tuck seam, and then you finish off at a slant down here, stitching that down in place. So that's all done. I love all these pin tuck seams. Well, these aren't seams, this is just detail added, because all that was solid. You draw those lines and you just sew using a pin tuck needle. And I used a 6.0, but you could go up to an 8. I just don't think my throat plate would accommodate the 8. You can see what I mean. These cuffs are raw edged, and it's just a single layer. Kind of bothering me a little bit. But because of the way this is put together, your pin tuck seam is on the inside, and so the reason I added this extra top stitching here was because the back side of that pin tuck is kind of ugly. It's just thread, and that was showing, and so I said, well, I'll fix that. I'll just encase it. So that's what I did. It fits. It's lovely. I would put it on, except I'm melting. I'm sweating underneath my eyes. So I'm just gonna show it like this. You can see everything. I could have done some reverse detail, because really the back doesn't look bad either. But I just loved all the colors on this side that just had more to it, and the buttons were perfect. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Bluegrass Streams to Seams. I really enjoyed making this jacket. I would highly recommend it for anyone if you can get your hands on the pattern. Like I said, I don't know if she still has it available. I didn't look at her patterns too closely. I was looking for a video and there wasn't any. So hopefully this will help you some. If you want to reach out and ask questions, please do so. I'll be happy to help in any way I can. It works out beautifully in wool. If you happen to have 2 yards, 60 inches wide, or pretty close to that, laying around, I'm thinking about adding some wool applique. I want to talk to my friend Cheryl down at Artisan Deborah's about wool applique, possibly adding something to the front of the jacket, just to see what she thinks. And I've kind of got something in my head. Actually, I've got 2 or 3 ideas in my head, but I think 1 or 2 of those probably won't work, and the 3rd thing I thought of probably will work. So that's it. I will catch you next week with another make.